Auburn landed another commitment over the weekend, staying hot on the recruiting trail as summer goes on. The Tigers added IMG Academy 4-star TJ Lindsey, defensive lineman, the 30th ranked defensive lineman in America. Auburn this time beat out Texas and Miami. They now have a total of 16 commitments as we're just about out of the summer recruiting months. Let's bring on Jeffrey Lee of Auburn Live. And we're going to talk about the big man Cam Franklin trending to Auburn here in a minute. But I want to go back out to California real quick and see if things are still all good with 4-star offensive lineman DeAndre Carter out of Mater Dei High School. Now, he took an official visit in June, and back then you told me, well, after he came back on his own dime to Big Cat Weekend in the end of July, you told me that you thought DeAndre was on potential commit watch. A few weeks later, has the visit high worn off? Where do things stand between Auburn and DeAndre Carter?
I think they stand the same. In this day and age, Josh, you know as well as I do, everybody wants their moment when it comes to the commitment. As far as I'm concerned, it's more of that he wants to get family together. He wants to have a ceremony with family and friends, and that's kind of the logistics of it all. Is basically what we're waiting on. I still have a lot of confidence in Auburn's chances with Carter right now. I think it's just a logistics of when and where he wants to announce it. And listen, I think it'll be soon. I think it'll be maybe first week of September at the very latest. But as of right now, I don't think there's any reason for Auburn fans to be concerned.
Who's the biggest competition in Auburn's direction for when it comes to Carter?
Got to be Texas. I know Michigan State is in there as well, but I think Texas is going to be Auburn's, thorn in the thumb, if you will, if there is going to be one.
All right, let's get to the big man, Cam Franklin. Auburn fans, do me a favor, though. Like this video and subscribe to the On3 YouTube page. We just crossed over 100,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. And if you're not subscribed yet, do it right now. All right, Cam Franklin goes 6'5", 260 pounds, and he is making his decision this Saturday, August 19th. You heard a lot about Tennessee throughout his recruitment, Miami, even some Ole Miss. But as we get down to it, Auburn is trending late when it matters at 59% on the RPM, the recruiting prediction machine. How should Auburn fans feel about this recruitment as we're just under a week until he announces?
Cautiously optimistic. I think it's the best way to put it. I think Auburn is in a very good spot. I don't think they would trade places with Tennessee, with Miami, with Ole Miss. I don't think they would trade spots with them at any point right now. That visit right before the dead period kicked in, that last week of July, really played a big factor in Camarion's recruitment. Jeremy Garrett, Hugh Freeze, both of those guys from the state of Mississippi, they've got ties. They've got really strong bonds with Cam. And so I think that's really paying off for Auburn as we get near the decision. So I think right now Auburn is the team to beat. But, Josh, we've seen things like this happen before, and we know things can change late. But as of today, I do like where Auburn sits.
What has Auburn done well in the recruitment for Cam Franklin?
Relationships. And I think it's been very important to him. Jeremy Garrett has been very important to him. They have he talked about us coming from the same, area. They get each other. They vibe well. And Hugh Freeze is the same way, man. Hugh Freeze has taken we've talked about some of these bigger recruits, these top recruits that Auburn is in on. Hugh Freeze has been instrumental in recruiting them, all of them, to be honest with you, including Cam Franklin. So those relationships with those two coaches and the opportunity to play early, certainly big factors there for Cam Franklin.
Yeah, 6'5", 260. These big men are coming off the board, and there's just not a lot of high-quality big men like a Cam Franklin available, so it's no secret why he's such a priority. Speaking of priorities, let's head down to South Florida, where 4-star safety Zaquan Patterson is a priority for Auburn. We've talked a lot about him on the Inside Scoop with you, Jeffrey. He's expected to make his decision in about a week from now. It seems to me, even though Miami's trending heavily on the recruiting prediction machine, it seems to me that this is a two-team race between Auburn and Miami as we're about a week out.
Yeah, I think so too. I wouldn't discount Michigan completely yet. Patterson came to Auburn's Big Cat event in July, last Saturday of July. He left there and immediately flew to Michigan. I think Michigan is in this, but Auburn has positioned itself very well with Patterson. He's been to Auburn several times for a guy from South Florida. He's been to Auburn games before. He's been to Auburn camp since he was little, so he's very familiar with Auburn for a kid from the Miami area. Zach Etheridge has been big with him. Hugh Freeze is another one. This is one of those guys, especially after missing on KJ Bolden. This is probably the next man up at safety.
All right. So what do you think? I mean, this comes down to Auburn and Miami. Do you like Auburn's chances despite what the recruiting prediction machine shows, which is Miami with a 91% lead?
I wouldn't say I don't like it or like it. I mean, I'm kind of 50-50 with him. I really don't know which way he's leaning. I think Auburn has made him a high priority. I really do. When Hugh Freeze and these guys make recruits high priorities, most of the time they've won out so far. So I would not count out Auburn with Zaquan Patterson when Auburn got their claws in him, and they certainly do.
All right. Well, some big decisions getting made, and as we head out of summer, Auburn sits with 16 commitments. Not over halfway full in the 2024 class. So at this point, as we head out of summer, what would you say is Auburn's most important need still left to fill?
Still left to fill offensive line. There is no one committed right now. Auburn is going to – now, they had a big class. They had a big offensive line class in 2023. But, I think they signed 9 offensive linemen, but 4 of those were transfers. Another one was a junior college kid. So they added 4 high school kids last year. And then of those transfers, of course, Dylan Wade's got 3 years remaining. Muskrat's got 2, and Xavier Miller, the JUCO, has 2 remaining. So – but long term, and you've got to refill the stock. You've got to stock up on these offensive linemen, and it's a major need. DeAndre Carter obviously could be the first domino, but other than him, Auburn's going to – and I'm expecting 3 to 4 here. But other than that, Auburn's probably going to have to flip some kids because most of the top targets are already committed elsewhere. So I think offensive line, you got to keep that. That was the downfall of Gus Malzahn, not being able to restock that cupboard every year with high school talent and depending too much on transfer portal and junior colleges. And when they get there and don't work out, you have nobody behind them to develop. So I think offensive line is absolutely the biggest need remaining in this class.
All right, Jeffrey. Well, there's a lot to be excited about if you're an Auburn fan. Recruiting is hot and the season is about to get started. Auburn Live has you guys covered with all the most recent recruiting developments and everything going on within the team. Jeffrey Lee, thank you for stopping by today on the Inside Scoop.
Absolutely, Josh. Thanks so much for having me, man.
Yep, see ya. Thank you for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button for me. And remember to check out all the videos on the On3 YouTube page.